Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video we're going to keep looking at Journey Into Nyx, and we're going to move on and look at Fates Foreseen, which is a blue and red deck. Let's take a look at the deck list. So we've got 18 creatures, 8 sorceries, 4 instants, 4 enchantments, 26 land, mana curve off to the side there. Let's start looking at the deck. So this is not the foil face rare of the deck, but it is the rare that aligns most closely with the deck's kind of theme and strategy. Prognostic Sphinx. So 3 in double blue for a 3/5 with flying. You can discard a card to give it hexproof until end of turn and tap it. Whenever it attacks you, scry 3. So scry has been all the way through Theros. As the block and as a total, and this is a deck that cares a lot about scry effects, which is really interesting because it was kind of, I guess, like the blue-red archetype, I suppose, if you want to call it that. I mean, this is still quite a way before we have like formalized like draft archetypes and like gold signpost uncommons, that kind of thing, before that process is really refined into what we have today. That's really interesting as well, because at time of recording, Tales of Middle-earth is fairly new. I think the whole set has just been revealed, and it's really interesting to see that the draft archetype for green and blue is scry, which is really interesting. There's a bunch of like really interesting cards there that care about scry and like what happens when you scry, like a bunch of triggers, which is really interesting actually, because I think scry has like a nice like design space, and some of the cards in this deck use that, I think. So scry is, I think, a really good ability, because it is just, making sure you're going to get what you need, really. So yeah, it's a really good ability, and it's nice to have a sort of a repeatable scry effect, especially on like this big, like a big flyer that can protect itself by giving itself hexproof when it's needed. So yeah, this thing's a pretty good rare to have in the deck. So then we have 2 Flamespeaker Adept. So this is like the other, I'd say, main scry payoff. It's 2 in a red for a 2/3. Whenever you scry, it gets +2/+0 and gets first strike turn. So yeah, as we'll see, we've got so many things that let you scry. So this can potentially, and it is each time you scry. It's not just, if you scry at least once a turn. So this could go up to like really scary. It could easily get up to, I think, 6/3 first strike. This is going to be, I think, like the main thing you're sending into combat each turn, really, just because it's going to be so hard to deal with. Because say the number of times you can scry and get its power up is pretty good. So yeah, really good card, really like this. So it's an interesting way of using scry as a trigger to get bonuses. I think it's really cool. We've got 2 Stormcaller of Keranos, 2 in a red for a 2/2 with haste. You can pay 1 in a blue and scry 1. So nice, again, nice repeatable scry effect. This is okay. Obviously goes well with the Flamespeaker Adept, because then it's essentially reading 1 in a blue, scry 1, and also give something +2/+0 and first strike turn, so which is pretty solid. We've got 2 Sigiled Skink, 1 in a red for a 2/1. Whenever it attacks, you scry 1. So this is nice, essentially Goblin Piker stats with upside. Yeah, this is, I think, perfectly fine. And we've got 2 Sigiled Starfish, 1 in a blue, 0/3, tap to scry 1. So like really nice kind of defensive creature, I suppose, and it can, again, repeatable scry effect, which is great, which is what the deck absolutely wants to do. So yeah, both these, I think, really good little creatures. Really like the little sigiled creatures; they're great. And then a single Omen Speaker, 1 in a blue, another really good little defensive creature here, 1/3, and when it ends the battlefield, you scry 2. So yeah, again, really good. Again, absolutely what the deck wants to be doing is have a bunch of scry effects to make sure you're drawing exactly what you need. We've got a single Prescient Chimera, 3 in double blue for a 3/4 with flying, and whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, and you've got, I think, about 12 of those in the deck, you get to scry 1. So again, just tacking scry 1 onto every instant sorcery you play is pretty solid. So yeah, and also it's a decently sized flyer. But that's then all the creatures that care about scry. So the foil face rare of the deck is Scourge of Fleets, who has nothing to do with scry, is just a big creature, which is fine. So 5 in double blue for a 6/6. When it ends the battlefield, return each creature your opponents control with toughness X or less to owner's hand, where X is the number of islands you control. So this can be potentially very swingy, I think. Say if you cast this and, like, I don't know, even if you've got 3 islands out, say 3 or 4 islands out, doing sort of like a mass bounce effect is really strong, and then also it's a 6/6 itself. So yeah, and it's not your creatures as well, which these effects tend to be, at least in kind of older sets. It is only getting your opponent's stuff. So yeah, I think this is like a really solid. I mean, it's got nothing to do with Scry, but it is a really strong effect. I think. Especially sort of the casual kitchen table level. Yeah, really solid. I think. Yeah. And then we got a single Crackling Triton, 2 and a blue for a 2/3. You can pay 2 and a red, sacrifice it, does 2 damage to target creature or player. Yep, very serviceable ability. I think that's perfectly fine. We got a single Cloaked Siren, 3 and a blue for a 3/2 with flash and flying. Yep, so having flash is always really nice. Drop it in the middle of combat. So have it serve essentially as a removal spell, or the end of your opponent's turn, so it can be ready to attack next turn. Yep, this is fine. This is what the deck's kind of doing really, is kind of a lot of deck manipulation. So you're drawing exactly what you need, and then kind of a lot of evasive creatures, some bounce and burn. It's very sort of classic blue-red in that regard, I think. We've got a single Cyclops of Eternal Fury, 4 and double red for 5/3. Gives all your stuff haste, which is pretty good effect. Yep, just not much to say about that. Goes really nicely with the Scourge of the Fleets. Obviously, you could have Cyclops and then do the Scourge of the Fleets, bounce all the stuff, and then swing with your 6/6, which hopefully then, actually no, it would leave all your opponent's bigger stuff, wouldn't it? But whatever, it's fine. We've got a single Blade Tusk Boar, 3 and a red for just a 3/2 Intimidate. Yes, so just again another nice evasive creature. And then 2 Pensive Minotaur, who's just here as a bit of vanilla filler, just 2 and a red for a 2/3, sure. So then moving on to non-creature spells, we've got a single Font of Fortunes, so 1 and a blue, you can pay 1 and a blue, sacrifice it and draw 2 cards. Yep, it's fine. Really wish it let you scry before drawing, but that's probably getting greedy. And then we've got a Font of Ire, 1 and a red, you can pay 3 and a red, sacrifice it, does 5 damage to target player. These are both, kind of boring, obviously. They're just, they're like the old seal enchantments that were in Nemesis and Ravnica and stuff. We have seal of removal at home. We have seal of fire at home as these. So it's obviously a bigger upfront investment and then a bigger cost to sacrifice. But the effect's obviously a bit stronger. But because Font of Ire is essentially a delayed lava axe effect in effect. So I mean they're okay, but they're not great, are they? So we have 2 Knowledge and Power, so 4 and a red. So this is the standard red enchantment that interacts with the block mechanic to do some damage. We see this a lot. So Knowledge and Power, whenever you scry, you may pay 2, and if you do, Knowledge and Power does 2 damage to target creature or player. So, I mean, it is expensive. I really wish this could come down sort of like earlier in the game. But, you've got a few effects here that can do repeatable scry, so this is a way of, getting extra damage out. Like, you could have this, say late game, maybe things have gone back and forth a bit, and then you've got like maybe a Sigiled Starfish or the Stormcaller of Keranos, and you're doing your scry effects and just paying a 2 and action and just keep pinging away an extra 2 damage. It's possible. It's possible. It's okay. I do think it's maybe a little bit expensive, but it's okay. We got 2 Riddle of Lightning, so this is a reprint from a future site, I think. So 3 and double red, you choose target creature or player, you scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. Riddle of Lightning deals damage equal to that card's converted mana cost to that creature or player. So it is annoying that you have to choose the target before knowing what the value is going to be. So that's not great, and you are paying a lot for this effect, 5 mana as well. But it has the potential to do quite a lot of damage. You've got a few fairly expensive cards in here, and Scry 3 is pretty good. Like, even if you don't maybe kill off the creature, Scrying 3 is okay as well, I suppose. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit too random for my liking. I don't like these kind of effects where you have to choose before knowing what the value is going to be, because it might just do nothing. We got a single Interpret the Signs, which is sort of very similar, I suppose. So 5 and a blue. You scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. You draw cards equal to that card's converted mana cost. So this is okay as well, I think. It's sort of along the lines of Riddle of Lightning. Probably not as bad because, even if you... I'd say the minimum you want to draw off this is maybe like 3 cards. To make it feel sort of like well costed. So you get more than 3 cards of this, I think it's okay. So this is all right. This is all right, I think. But again, it's still very expensive, but has potential to draw you a bunch of cards. So I think it's okay. 2 Rise of Eagles, 4 and double blue. You just make 2 bird enchantment creature tokens, and then you scry 1. So this is fine. Just add a few more evasive bodies to the board and get a scry out of it. Again, does feel very expensive, but Again, it's fine, because it is essentially, what, 2 Windrakes, I guess. Actually, no, thinking about to what, in M13 we had Talrand's Invocation, which makes 2/2 flyers for only 4 mana. But I suppose that's uncommon, this is common. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. And actually having a higher mana value helps the Riddle of Lightning and the Interpret the Signs, I suppose, so it's okay. Single Lost in the Labyrinth, 1 blue mana to give a creature -3/-0 to turn, you get to scry 1. Yep. Single Spite of Mogus, 1 red mana, does damage to target creature equal to the number of instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard. Scry 1, so this is, I say, mostly probably going to do maybe 3 damage, 3 or 4 damage maybe at most, which is okay for 1 red mana, and you get the scry as well, so it's okay, it's okay. A single Rage of Perforos, 4 and a red, does 4 damage to target creature. It can't be regenerated this turn in scry 1, so yep, again, this is alright as a burn spell, I suppose. Maybe a little expensive at 5 mana and at sorcery speed, but 4 damage is fairly chunky, and scry 1 is okay, so yeah, it's fine. A single Magma Spray, 1 red mana, does 2 damage to target creature, and if that creature would die this turn, it gets exiled instead, which is fine, I suppose. I don't think there's actually much in Theros block that really cares about the graveyard that much, I suppose, so that's okay. It's all exiling something is better than having it in a graveyard. It's gone out of the game for good then. But yeah, it's alright as a cheap burn spell. And then a single Pull from the Deep, 2 and double blue, return up to 1 target instant card and up to 1 target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and then you exile Pull from the Deep. Yeah, this is okay just to get some of your spells back and cast them again. It's all right, perfectly okay, I think. It's nice that it exiles itself, so it's not open to sort of abuse where you could just kind of like cycle 2 of them through, I suppose. And then just 2 divination, just 2 and a blue, just draw 2 cards, yeah, which is absolutely fine. And then 13 mountains and 13 islands. So what could have been? So I think the card selection is okay. It's basically it's using most of the good scry cards. There's 2 here that I think definitely should have been in the deck. Let's talk about Stormchaser Chimera first. So 2 a blue and a red for a 2/3 flyer, and then you pay 2 a blue and a red, scry 1, then reveal the top card of your library. It gets +X/+0 to 10, where X that card's converted mana cost. So I have no idea why this isn't here. It's kind of like in the last deck, the Mortals of the Myth, which didn't have Reap What Is Sown, which is like a perfect card for green-white heroic. Why is this card not in here? It's perfect for blue-red scry, because it's like a repeatable scry effect that also cares about the deck manipulation. So really don't understand why even there wasn't just 1 copy of it in here, because again, it's like it's a evasive creature that can get really big, so that serves as like a win condition basically. And also Aqueous Form, this should have also 100% been in here. So 1 blue mana, it's an aura, goes on a creature, the enchanted creature can't be blocked, and whenever it attacks, scry 1, so it's doing a lot for like 1 blue mana. This on the Flamespeaker Adept I think would be incredible, because then you're attacking, you're getting that guaranteed 1 scry. It can't be blocked. It goes up to being a 4/3, and it can't be blocked. So yeah, definitely should have had at least 1 Aqueous Form in here as well. Again, to help with like the win condition, which is make your creatures evasive, and using scry to find out the ways to essentially win the game, either the burn spells or evasion. And also we could have had Magma Jet in here as well. Just 1 in a red, does 2 damage to target creature player, and you scry 2. So again, it's another scry spell. Why wasn't it in here? But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, just a few obvious cards that I thought should have been here but weren't. So overall, I do actually quite like this, just because it is taking like kind of a weird theme. It's just like, we're going to make this the Scry Matters deck, and I just think it's like they kind of double down on the theme. They've included sort of like quite a lot of cards with scry. I do like scry as a mechanic, because anything that kind of lets you manipulate your the top deck of your library, so you're drawing what you need to do, feels really good. So yeah, I think this is pretty solid. I think it's like a fun theme. Whether or not it would play well, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's a fun enough theme. It does feel very standard, sort of red blue, bounce burn, and then play a big creature and kind of win with a big creature. So yeah, I suppose it's fine. I like it. I like it. So yeah. But what are your thoughts on the deck after seeing it? If you want any thoughts or comments or opinions or stories about the deck or any of the cards in it, or if what are your opinions on Scry as a mechanic? Do you like Scry or sort of other similar mechanics like Surveil or I'm sure there's another one I can't think of the top of my head, but yeah, stuff like that. Stick a comment below. Always like to hear what people's opinions and thoughts are. But I'll be back next time. Go look at another Journey Into Nyx intro pack. But until then, thanks for watching and listening, and have a great day.